was.
Some games were doing, was it girls here, out there, so the lights were very dark. Looked perfect on the screen.
That's all. 12 watch.
That's bad. Virgil. I have them here if you want to send them later.
You don't have to, don't they, Chad? That's pretty don't they? Here, Alex.
I fucking milked this one. Welcome to the home of the Meath Senior Hurling Champions.
So it's 5 minutes to throw in here. We have the live stream on. Just get it working, iron out any kinks. So if you have any technical difficulties, anyone that's watching, just let us know. Sound, that, etc. Picture. We're just getting ourselves ready. So Fáilte go léir, you're all very welcome on the Ideal Bathrooms Meath GAA TV. We're doing our first ever club championship match on YouTube. We've done Joe McDonough hurling in the past, but it's our first ever club championship match. You're more than welcome on YouTube here tonight. The digital programme that was advertised, there are no changes on the Kildalkey team, while there are 2 starting changes to the Longwood team. So just those 2 changes on the Longwood team. Number 2, Enda Dixon, is replaced by number 19, Gavin Griffin. And number 14, James Doran, is replaced by number 28, Harry Hogan. So Fergal Lynch, who's going to be joining me on co-commentary from the Meath Chronicle sports team, is going to announce these changes now. So listen in.
Home of the 2020 Senior Hurling Champions, for this evening's opening game of the 2021 Senior Hurling Championship between Kildalkey and Longwood. Anybody that picked up a programme at the gate on the way in, Kildalkey will line out as selected. In goals, number 1, Mark McCormick, number 2, Brendan McLeod, number 3 and captain is Gary Kelly, number 4 will be David Keneally, 5 is Martin Doran, 6 David Harmon, 7 Conor Fitzgerald, 8 Patrick Potterton, 9 Martin Healy, 10 Conor Carney, 11 Patrick Neely, 12 Kevin McLeod, 13 Nicky Potterton, 14 Mark Healy, and 15 Evan Fitzgerald. There are 2 changes from the line live programme, from the Longwood team in the programme. Number 2, Enda Dixon, is replaced by number 19, Gavin Griffin, and number 14, James Doran, is replaced by number 28, Harry Hogan. Longwood will line out in goals, number 1, Mark Kennedy, number 19, Gavin Griffin, number 3, Niall Mulvey, number 4, Joe Benson, number 5, John Fury, number 6, Sean Colo, number 7, Ross Kerrigan, number 8 and captain Michael Burke, number 9 Ryan Moore, number 10 Carl Ennis, number 11 Gillian Healy, number 12 Anthony Healy, number 13 Aaron Ennis, 28 Harry Hogan, and number 15 Billy Hogan. And the referee for today's game is Derek Ryan from the Meath Club.
Count there, just completely skipped 6. Number 5 and number 7.
So we're just poshing up Derek Ryan, the Baconstown native Nafina clubman, is going to throw in proceedings here now on time. So Fergal, you have about 15 seconds to give your prediction before the throw-in of the Ted Murtagh Senior Hurling Championship.
Won't take 15 seconds, Kieran. Kildalkey.
That's definitely a quick prediction, but let's all see how it goes. First Kevin McKeown gets possession, but he's dispossessed by the evergreen Michael Burke. Patrick Potterton, he's going to hit out for the first wide of the game. Goalkeeper Mark Kennedy. So it's long and down the middle. Playing the ball towards number 8, Mickey Burke. Because Ryan Moore, number 9, has it in the field. Mickey Burke looks up, tries to break the tackle. Derek Ryan deems him over-carried. Early doors, Ferg. Looks like Longwood looking to play it through the hands and move it through the channels.
Yeah, and Mickey Burke getting on the first couple of balls there. Seems to have a heavy strapping on his right thigh there. Wonder, is that any of the reason why they lined out differently now as they were named? But some of them seem to have stepped back into their regular position. But Mickey named to play at number 15, but I think lined out at wing forward. So that might, heavy strapping on his thigh might be the reason for that.
Absolutely, and Conor Carney from Kildalkey is lining up just inside his own 65-metre line. He lifts, he strikes, it's direct and it's low. And it's an excellent score. Conor Carney with the first score of the Ted Murtagh Senior Hurling Championship here in Park Nave Lomond in Malyaha Trim, St. Lomond's Park Trim. So Mark Kenny, it's a low puck out towards that. Gavin Griffin, a late change to the lineup here. Number 15, Billy Hogan, of course, very busy in recent times with the county football team. As the the flag is raised by Mark Riley from Kilmessan.
Just to step in there, Kieran, if you're going to be naming St. Cloman's Park Trim, I want you to give us our full title. It's home of the 2020 Senior Hurling Champions Trim.
Well, I'll have to
point that out before we go any further.
Yeah, well, I'll maybe drop once or twice, but I think I'm getting paid by the minute and I don't want to run up too much of a charge. So it's the full forward here. Mark Healy plays it out. It's a good ball, I think. Is it going to go over the bar? Drops short. Mark Hendy. Gary Kelly went for the shot from range. Plays out. Ryan Moore is going to contest. No, it's Aaron Ennis. Plays across Conor Carney. It's a low ball in, but Dame O'Healy, number 11, on his back, but playing at centre half back. The hand is up by Derek Ryan, the signal advantage. It's a loose ball to Mickey Burke. Some good tackling by Longwood. It's long range. Paddy Potterton, and it's wide. All the ball Fergal has been with Kildalkey so far really in danger.
Yeah, but Longwood have got on plenty of it. As you said earlier on, they're trying to move it through the hands rather than just pumping in long ball in the top of the big man. Kildalkey have moved Gary Kelly well out the field, but Longwood on the attack here again with Gavin Griffin, who started instead of, even though Enda Dixon was named on, I think Enda is suspended from the last round of last year's championship, but Gavin Griffin is named to play in midfield. And plenty of actually moving the ball through the hand here and no aimless hitting, which is probably a feature of hurling that we've seen this year in Meath. And those days of aimlessly hitting the ball into a full forward line or trying to bat it as long as you can seem to be gone. There's a lot more coaching in the game now where teams are trying to find their man, and plenty of opportunities for good hurling in these games.
But it's just not the same level of excitement. You get to roar when a lad belts it down the field. It just doesn't. As it comes up, just a wide ball by Paddy Keneally. As it comes to Kevin McKeown. Kevin McKeown breaks the tackle. Has he been fouled? It's been deemed not. I don't think it was, as Ryan Moore flicks the ball away to the number 10, Carl Ennis. Carl Ennis plays it in to Aaron Ennis. Aaron Ennis doesn't get the ball. As Brandon McKeown breaks the tackle and he's deemed to have been fouled. Derek Ryan raises the hand for advantage. Probably clever play by the corner back. He just probably ran into the tackle and got the high tackle around the neck then.
Yeah, and that's an example of what we're just saying there, with the long ball was put into the full forward line there, and even though Kevin McKeown mightn't be the biggest man, he was up and he won the ball, batted it down, got onto the breaking ball himself and then won the free. So pumping in long ball just isn't the way to go anymore.
As David Harmon hits it into the corner. It's going to be played by Nicky Potterton across, but it's intercepted by the Longwood defenders. And it's going to be a free out for the trip on Gavin Griffin.
And then in contrast, you get occasions like that where players try to be too intricate and too smart maybe in trying to pick out the ball. I thought Mark Healy had an opportunity to turn and strike that ball over the shoulder, over the bar himself, but he looked to pick out another man and the move broke down.
Interesting there, Damo Healy's coming back. He's going to strike this long and first was down the middle. It's going to go in towards his brother Anthony, who just been marshalled by two defenders from Kildalkey. Oh, it's a dangerous one, but it's a chance for a goal. Anto Healy doesn't get the flick away. Anto Healy he did excellent to dispossess his man. David Harmon is coming out here. It's played low and hard to Paddy Keneally here on the sideline here in St. Lomans Park, the home of the 2020 Senior Hurling Champions. That's the one time, Fergal, I won't be saying it again. Fitzgerald has... Absolutely, you're catching up on them. As Conor Carney tries to evade the tackle. That's some... It's a tight decision there, possibly a free, but possibly not. It's one of those ones up to the referee's discretion, Fergal.
It was Sean Colo just pulled across, not wild pull, but pulled across to try and connect with the ball, didn't get to it. Referee probably right toward the free, and choice language shouted in at him there from the sideline, and Derek, of course, being a former missionary, I believe, wouldn't take too kindly to that type of... what do we call it? Unpriestly type language. But,
unsavoury will be definitely for sure, to be sure. The good thing, if someone's going to forgive you, he might be the better man for us. As Conor Carney definitely didn't have the full 20 metres of scope from Mickey Burke, who was, as we know, never gives an inch. And in this case, he doesn't give even a metre. So another one for Conor Carney. That's 2 points now from set play. As Mark Kennedy, the goalkeeper, has a chance. He surveys the field. He goes short to Damien Healy, just outside the semicircular arc, or the D as we commonly know it. Played down towards Gary Kelly, who flicks his own man, but I think somehow gets it to his teammate, Paddy Potterton. Comes in, Martin Healy, or Mark Healy even. Plays across to Potterton. Possibly again just a quick feet, been a bit too quick for the Longwood defenders.
Yeah, and we're 7 minutes gone, and Kildalkey leading by 2 points to no score, and Conor Carney, you'd imagine, at his ease, will take his time to pop this over the bar to make it 3 points to no score. And it's just going to be that type of day, I think, for Longwood, where they have to be disciplined in front of the post. If they can be disciplined and not give away the frees, they'll be in with a shout. But they've already conceded 3 or 2, and about to be a third, I would imagine, to Conor Carney here. So they just need to be that little bit more disciplined. But it is interesting to see Damo Healy, who was listed to play centre forward, is definitely playing as a sweeper in behind the centre back. But keeper looking for the short ones for him. But Conor Carney's about to strike this one.
And I'd say it's been lifted, and it looks like a decent strike of the ball, and it is. But Fergal, how do you think the Brendan Davis preparations, or the lack thereof, for Longwood will play into this? Is their first competitive game of 2021, which is quite a difficult thing to come in against Kildalkey, the 2019 champions.
Absolutely, and Kildalkey had some great games. I was at the Trim and Kildalkey game in the Brendan Davis Cup, and that was a real cracking game between two sides. And obviously Trim went on to win the Senior Hurling Championship, as we've mentioned a couple of times already. But you know, it just goes to show the intensity of Kildalkey's preparations as opposed to as opposed to Longwood, who didn't play in the competition. Now, we're not privy to any information as regards challenge matches they might have played, but there's no substitute for championship hurling or high intensity hurling as Kildalkey would have got against Trim.
Conor Carney, another chance here. Kildalkey just controlling the play. Fergal saw Ryan Moore had some quick, close play with Anto Healy there as well, and the two players just couldn't really evade the Kildalkey defenders. And then Keneally, brilliant around, gets it across to Conor Carney, and probably Kildalkey's shooting probably just letting them down, even though they have a 3-point lead.
And just what I was just thinking there, you know, you're 8.5 minutes into the game now, and they haven't had a score from play yet. They've hit 4 wides, and their 3 points are from frees. So it is just really that indiscipline. And it wasn't really bad challenges that freeze against them, but it was just careless tackles more than anything else. And as you said already, it's probably just that lack of hurling that has cost Longwood in these early stages. But they're still in the game, 9 minutes gone, 3 points to no score down.
Dangerous here is Mark Healy's a chance to... Was there a belt on the back? I don't know if the ref saw it. He hesitated. But I think Gavin Griffin was the man who made the hit. That sounded worse than it was, potentially. Cathal Egan says Dunsany and Kildalkey juniors for the double. Cathal plays a bit of football with Dunsany and, of course, hurls with Kildalkey. As Anto Healy plays it across to Mickey Burke. Mickey Burke for the first shot for Longwood. And it's over the black spot. Not a bad conversion rate, Fergal, 100%.
Yeah, first point from play, first shot on target from Longwood. I think Cathal Egan is on about double voltage, is he?
I don't know. It's definitely, I'd say we could be struggling to win both, but we'll try our best. As the centre half back, David Harmon plays it down into the corner. It's going to be swept up by Joe Stenson, the corner back for Longwood. But he's been well marshalled by Mark Healy, who plays it out to the number 5, John Fury. But I think Nicky Potterton has picked the pocket as he plays it across now to Kevin McKeown. Big, strong runner of the ball. Definitely some tight hurling as Anto Healy, who's been playing full forward, ends up sweeping here in the back. But then, is there going to be space up here? Aaron Ennis has to get out in front, but he's going to be bet to the ball by David Keneally. Possibly being fouled by the grab of the arm, but it's play on by the referee. Played out. It's going to be a long ball to Evan Fitzgerald. Evan Fitzgerald has a chance to score. Padder Halloran calling on our Lord, just as saying it's gone wide.
Yeah, it's 5 wides and it's only 2 points in it. Nearly 11 minutes gone, 3 points to Kildalkey, 1 to Longwood. Only score from play has come from Longwood so far, and that might indicate that it's not great hurling, but it's actually quite a decent game so far. But the fact that both sides are trying to create scores rather than just hitting and hoping and looking for a break or striking the ball, trying to strike points from 80 yards. It's good to see both sides trying to play hurling, but the longer this goes on, it's hard to know if Longwood can keep up that type of play. Another good short puck out there.
Gavin Griffin has it. Can he get it across to Ross Kerrigan? Ross has the chance to lift it. Back to Griffin. Griffin and Kerrigan working well here on the touchline beside us. As Kerrigan flicks it up again, he sees another ball across to Ryan Moore, but it's definitely overplayed. It's overplayed now. The number 8, Paddy Potterton, has the ball for Kildalkey. Plays it across. Conor Carney. It's a low ball in to Kevin McKeown. McKeown and John Fury. Fury probably just grabbed the arm of McKeown, and that's probably a foul that he will be disappointed with, because it's an obvious one. When you grab the player's hand, it makes a very easy decision for the referee.
And this will be another point for Conor Carney, no doubt. And all 4 points will have come from silly, careless. Nothing hasn't been reckless. It hasn't been dangerous. It hasn't been to try and take a man out going through for a score. It's just been that getting turned and having to pull an arm or sticking a stray hurl in across the body when there was no real need to. So Conor Carney about to point his 4th score of the afternoon or the evening here.
And I think it comes back to that idea that you're getting to, is unforced errors as the ball goes over the bar. Definitely unforced errors are just systematic of a team that will lose a game, and the more you have of them, the more likely you are to lose a game. So from a Longwood point of view, as Damien Healy gets on another short puck out, it's a long distance though to get to the other side of the field though, when you have to go short every time like that. It comes up. Griffin on the ball a lot here. It's coming in now into the inside forward line. I think it was Aaron Ennis fighting for the ball inside.
Yeah, but you've got 5 Kildalkey men back there in on top of 2 Longwood men. When you pump in long ball like that, there's only ever going to be one outcome. Longwood are doing grand, they're winning the ball from their own puck out, and then when they get up into this midfield position, they're trying to play hurling into an inside forward line where there's simply
Evan Fitz. But I think that's kind of your point, just in a moment of play there. A long ball in, lots of Kildalkey players, and they have the benefit then of the numbers numerically in defence. They were able to work it up, and then they score from range. So as you were describing it, Fergal, it was happening right in front of our eyes here. Disappointing enough.
I'm also surprised that Evan Fitzgerald has got basically the freedom of the pitch here. Nobody seems to be picking him up. He was all on his own there for that score. He had an opportunity just before that as well. So even though Longwood are funneling a lot of men back, and Damien Healy, like, look, if you just pan into their full back line there, there's one Kildalkey man. Paddy Keneally is just moving into the full forward position, and there's 4 Longwood men around him. Okay, he's getting joined in there now by a teammate, but it's 4 Longwood men on one. But Evan Fitzgerald always seems to get out in front of his man and have plenty of time. So if they're going to play this defensive game, they're going to have to be disciplined in their tackle and then be swift in their counter-attack, and they've really done neither so far.
Absolutely, as Anthony Healy flicks it for Longwood up, and the cry from the sideline is a score. So that'll bring it now to 5-2 here. There's... How many minutes are gone, Fergal?
We're 14 and a half.
14 and a half, so the water break will be due up here any second now in this Ted Murtagh's Senior Hurling Championship match in Trim. As Damo Healy and Evan Fitzgerald contest for the ball in the middle of the field, the hand goes up. Kevin McKeown, that's probably the strongest element of his game, is that strong running ability that he has, and it just causes much trouble for the Longwood defenders. I think he's been fouled at least 3 times, Fergal, and Conor Carney is going to step up and possibly put the 6th score on the board for Kildalkey.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't a dirty foul. I don't even think it was cynical. It was just a crowding them out and conceded the foul. But once Longwood obviously have a brilliant free taker themselves in Anthony Healy. Anthony will have a very high conversion rate, as will Conor Carney. He's going for his 6th or his 5th. And he puts that one over the bar to bring his total to 5, and Kildalkey's, as they lead 6-2 after 15 and a half minutes.
And as I said, the water break is due any second now as Joe Stenson has a chance to catch this puck out. He's under severe pressure by the Kildalkey attackers as Damien Healy has the chance to go long into the corner. It looks like Harry Hogan. Harry Hogan just jumps to the ball and he's just taken away by Brendan McKeown. Back to the number 5, Martin Doran, a long servant for this Kildalkey senior hurling team. Paddy Keneally well defended by Niall Mulvey, the full-back, as Red Riley, the referee from Clemesson, signals line ball. Derek Ryan, I think, has overruled him, I think. I think he's telling someone to mind his own business, the far side.
I think Mark Riley isn't happy with some of the assistance he's getting from the Longwood officials over on the far side in terms of keeping the line. I think Mark might have given that as a line ball to Kilmesson or to Kildalkey, but Derek Ryan has overruled him on that one.
I think he kind of gave a gesture of a throwing motion, as if I think it might have been a free as opposed to a line ball, and of course the linesman can't do that.
And there's going to be trouble here now, I'm afraid. Mark Riley is about to call the referee's attention to an incident. There's a Kildalkey player.
Sean Colo, I think, to hit him, did he?
I think it's Conor Fitzgerald.
And that was a bit of a row.
And Sean Colo was involved. I couldn't possibly say if he hit him. I didn't see it.
No, I panned away as well.
I just saw the player hitting the ground, and Mark Riley has the flag waved, and he's standing right in front of the Kildalkey players, or the Longwood bench over there. So they should have a good. Plenty of advice to give Mark as to what might have happened. So it'll be interesting to see what the referee does here. Kildalkey are already facing an uphill battle, 6 points to 2 down, 17 and a half minutes gone.
Definitely Colo's been called over.
He's been called over, and if he's reported for striking, which it was off the ball, there can only be one outcome, but maybe Mark Riley will say there was mitigating circumstances.
It was only a little belt, you know. Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah. I often hear the lad saying, yeah, he hit him, but he deserved it. But there's a straight red card for Sean Colo. So Longwood are down to 14 men, 18 minutes gone, 4 points down. What was already mission impossible, even Tom Cruise won't get them out of this one.
No. I think once the referee's report doesn't blow up in 10 seconds like in the movies, but comes in, Anthony Healy flicks away. He said it's going to be a hard battle for him now. A lot more responsibility beyond him as he's hit himself. I think that was a high hit on Anthony Healy as Mickey Burke runs over to tell him. Definitely there was a high strike, and I think it might have hit him in the helmet. So this probably will be a minimum of a yellow card for careless use of the hurley. And it's Conor Carney, I think, is it? Conor Carney is the one been spoken to. So it probably will be a yellow card for careless use of the hurley.
It's a straight
no,
red
straight red, so he's done him for striking with the hurley, not careless use. So it looks like that's been evened up straight away. So Conor Carney, the free taker as well, Fergal. I know they have other free takers, the likes of Paddy Keneally, so they won't be missing out in that regard. But
yeah, that will make very little difference.
And now there's more been spoken to here in the Longwood.
It'll make very little difference in terms of an ability. Paddy Keneally is an outstanding free taker for Kildalkey and has done it for Meath in the past 4. But you know, I didn't see what happened there. So if it was, he's trying to explain to his management here what went on, and Darrell Hart isn't happy with him, and Pat O'Halloran isn't happy with him either, and he's responding to words coming to him from the sideline there as well. Can have nobody, only himself to blame, I suppose. If he did strike, it's a careless action. When
regardless, you're on the sideline now. Regardless, anyway, for the night.
He has seen his team go from a super position where the opposition had gone down to 14 men. They were cruising 6 points to 2, and okay, they'll probably still win the game, but it's back to even numbers. and probably the more space on the field will probably suit Kildalkey even more.
Yeah, it's hard to play kind of the sweeper of the blanket when the square meters goes up. But Anthony Healy's a chance now just to restore a bit of, we'll say, normality to this game. It's gone a bit frantic in the last few minutes. The water break wasn't taken either. As we water break here, it is 6 points Kildalkey to Longwood's 2 points. But Fergal, you kind of had a chance to do a bit of analysis there because there was such a lull in the game. But as you said there, you predicted Kildalkey to win, and at the moment the prediction is ringing true. But you never know how these senior hurling matches could go. But I think the way the game is kind of panning out, it looks like Kildalkey are dominating it.
Look, in a lot of the games in this Group A of the Senior Hurling Championship will be very, very tight. That's the joy of the way the Meath County Board restructured the Hurling Championship. I think it's been really good for hurling in the county. Certainly has improved it, that you will get an awful lot of really tight games, unfortunately for Longwood, and they tend to always produce a big performance every year. But unfortunately, it's hard to see them contesting with your Trim.
They're in the quarter-final last year, so they had a chance.
They were in the quarter-final last year. I think they came out of the other group, was it? No,
they're in the main one, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, they finished in the top 4, of course. Came out. It was a very different looking championship last year.
It was 4 groups, yeah, it was
in
different.
3 teams. You had Trim, Kildalkey, who were in the one group. There was a very strong group.
Yeah, bit but as you said, it's back now to 5 big games. Every club is going to play 5 big senior games, and it's going to be difficult for them.
Exactly. So Longwood got out of a group of 3 where they only had to play 2 games, and they finished in second, I think, in the group behind Trim. So it's a very different scenario for them then. But then there was games last year, I remember, where they only had 3 or 4 subs on the sideline. They seem to have got a full panel there. Plenty of hunger and plenty of effort here tonight, but it is going to be an uphill battle, taking on the 2019 champions. As you said earlier on, they're obviously still a quality outfit. You have to remember that they were only beaten in the semi-final for the 2020 last year, for the 2020 hurling championship, by a last gasp goal by Neely Heffernan.
It was amazing. It was an amazing day.
And who knows, other for that, it might have been a simple championship for Kildalkey had they gotten over that one, just like it was a simple one for Trim, Kieran.
We'll give you tonight. Gary Kelly in the middle of the field, the captain of the team for the last few years. Just a bit of a loose ball as it comes to the number 15, Billy Hogan. Billy plays it into his brother, Harry. Harry has the ball in the middle of the field. It's back to Harry. Back to Billy. Harry to Billy, to Billy to Harry, and it's a line ball for Longwood.
Harry,
maybe just if I said Hogan to Hogan might have been easier.
Yeah. Harry, of course, made his senior football championship debut for Meath this year in that Leinster final, or Leinster semi-final against Dublin, having played earlier in the league as well. So it's good to see him getting a bit of hurling as well. A very talented goalkeeper, and is sure to be probably a fixture between the posts for Meath for many years to come. Absolutely,
and someone who has been a fixture in a Meath shirt for a long time, Mickey Burke, just jostling for possession, and it's tipped out for another line ball.
While we have another little break, we'll mention Mickey is one of the interviewees in my own book, which I have coming out ahead.
I was actually going to give you the plug, the water break. So
a book coming out, being launched next Friday in our own pub, in Lynch's Pub in Trim. It's good sideline puck in there, but it's
danger!
Picked up, but it's picked up by midfielder there,
Mark McCormick down the wing.
Healy.
Mark McCormick to McKeown. Kevin McKeown has the ball. He evades the tackle of Harry Hogan. As the full back gets the ball, plays it to Paddy Keneally. Paddy Keneally just breaks the 45-metre line, has a chance of a shot, just short again. Mark Kennedy plays the ball out. It's a good catch by the centre back. Played across. Now Paddy Keneally, looks like he's been blocked. Damon Healy has a lot of space and time here. He will take his 4 steps. He'll play the ball, and it's a long ball. It didn't go long enough though, as Gary Kelly has a chance maybe to reciprocate. Oh, he's been done for overcarrying.
It's got very sloppy from those couple of minutes just before the water break, and after that 2 very poor strikes by lads who are normally very long hitters. Damon Healy half hitting it, Paddy Keneally twice half hitting it, then Gary Kelly over carrying the ball there. Just a little bit of careless and sloppiness. After an entertaining enough opening 14 minutes, even though there wasn't a whole lot of scores from play. It was decent hurling, but it's got really, really sloppy in those couple of minutes before the water break where we had the 2 red cards, and then since play resumed. So we haven't had a score since the 16th minute, and we're now 23 minutes in, and this is an opportunity for Anthony Healy, and as usual, as you would expect, he puts it over the bar to have the deficit has gone, well, half the scoreline for Longwood. They now have 3 points to Kildalkey 6.
Yeah, it's both teams, as soon as there's an unforced error, the free taker will light on it, as Damo Healy reads that expertly, comes across, but he is being well defended by Martin Healy from Kildalkey. Martin Healy's a chance to play it in. He's doing it to Mark Healy. Or is that Nicky Potterton?
14.
No, it's Mark Healy. Right the first time, go at your gut as Martin has a chance. Martin Healy, it's waved wide though. And the Longwood faithful will be happy with that miss, as Mark Kennedy, the cool buyer, has a chance to play it out, which he does, to the number 7, Ross Kerrigan, and Paddy Keneally has him tackled twice in quick succession. Will he dispossess him? It looks like he will indeed. And Nicky Potterton has a chance. What a score. It just shows you when you tackle up the field, as Paddy Keneally did, he pipped Ross Kerrigan for possession, and Ross Kerrigan just banged the ground with a stick there with frustration, because that was excellent defending up the field. As Nicky in the back.
He was left kind of isolated as well. He had no real support when 2 Kildalkey men swarmed all over him. He didn't really get the support up to him that he would have needed, and brilliant score then from Nicky Potterton.
So McKeown, he's been well tackled by Joe Stenson here in the corner. So Derek Ryan deemed the 2 players fouled simultaneously, so he's going to throw the ball in. Kind of one where both players kind of fell on the ball. A hard one when he didn't give the initial free. It kind of descended into that bit of a ruck as it's thrown in, and a man who loves a ruck is Mickey Burke and Damien Healy. Paddy Keneally flicks the ball up. If he can get this out to Kevin McKeown, there's a chance of a score, but it's still kind of in this. So he's been deemed to frontally charge Kevin McKeown, Fergal.
Well, that was a bit of a harsh one, all right. Sometimes I do wonder about Kevin picked up the ball and made a beeline for the goals. The full back, I think it was, Niall Mulvey, looked to have held his ground. What's he meant to do? Is he meant to disappear? Is he meant to hit the ground and get out of his way? He stood his ground. Referee deemed him as blocking the run. Very harsh decision, I would reckon anyway. I thought the other frees that Conor Carney, before he had gone off, had converted. No real debate about them. If I was a manager, I'd be disappointed with that one. But Paddy Keneally's about to take over free-taking duties now.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in that principle, that you're not entitled just to run through someone. The player has to be able to stand somewhere. So you give the benefit of the doubt sometimes to the defender there, but possibly there was just a few kind of hands flaying up, and it just looked worse than it potentially was. And I think sometimes looking guilty can just be your death nail, as Paddy Keneally puts the ball over the black spot.
8 points.
8 points to 3 is just Kildalkey just keeping that lead at arm's length the whole time. They don't seem to be in any real worry, and Longwood possibly will need a goal in this game to get back into it, so they run the risk of fading out of this game.
No possibly about it, Kieran. I'd say they're going to need goals to sustain any type of a challenge. Kildalkey do look more comfortable on the ball. We have pointed out there that Kevin McKeown has won 4 of those 7 frees or 6 frees that they've pointed. He's won
danger now for
Mark
Healy. Mark Healy's a chance of a score, and that's just the difference. I think Fergal, they're scoring with a lot more ease, a lot more proficiency in front of goal, and I think that's the frustrating part from a Longwood point of view, that Kildalkey can just score with a lot more ease.
Well, they're finding that space, and as we said already, even though Longwood seem to have flooded their defence, Kildalkey players are still managing to find that 4 or 5 yards of space. That could have been quite easily. Mark Healy put the ball on a stick and run towards the goals. Could have had a goal opportunity for himself, but it seems to be a case of let's take the points, let's put this game to bed, and then if goal chances arrive later on, they'll go for them. But they're getting the results sorted first before they start thinking about scoring difference. Absolutely,
yes. Anthony Healy from Longwood has a chance now to get another free and just keep Longwood in the game. They'll need to have damn near 100% from set play,
which they haven't yet because they've already missed one, but he's back on track with that one.
Absolutely. The more frees that they get, they need to convert them. As Mark McCormick surveys the field, he goes short to the cornerback, Brendan McKeown. Brendan bounces the ball in the stick, and then he goes long, but Damien Healy has read the play. He's a chance to catch at pace, and he bombards in a straight line. The only thing is, it's probably very similar to Kevin McKeown's free.
How is that any different exactly to the one where he awarded the free in when Conor McKeown went to the man and the Longwood player stood his ground? To me, it looked as if the Kildalkey player stood his ground that time. Damo actually put his hand up to try and shove him out of the way. The referee said he held him up.
I think the solution to that is to leave your whistle in your pocket and let them at it, I think. I think that's what...
We've already 2 red cards, so
yeah, but
I wouldn't be leaving the whistle in the pocket.
Maybe so, but flaking that is different than letting them play hurling. But as the ball comes into the square, danger here. Just comes out with Potterton. Potterton out to Healy, the full forward. He's been stewarded by Billy Hogan. Billy Hogan dispossessed him quite well. And it's a line ball here for Kildalkey. Billy Hogan getting around the field quite well.
A young lad like Billy Hogan can't be getting around the field quite well, Kieran. There's no hope for the older fellas that are out there trying to make an impression.
True, and I think that's been mentioned. I think there's certain lads in the panel, we won't mention them until they field maybe, but there's a lot of what's the word?
Elderly. My age.
Well, I didn't want to say that. As Damien Healy's going to catch the ball in open space, it looks like he's looking for that short pass, which he is indeed. It's flicked up to Aaron Ennis. Ennis probably a bit aimless with that ball, but... Is
that not just the coming together of 2 players? One lad was stronger than the other. It looks as if Gavin Griffin is benefiting from a hit by a wily old veteran like Marcin Doran there. To me, it looked like Marcin got in. Maybe the referee would say it was hip on hip, but it looked as if it was side-to-side body challenge. And just because Marcin was stronger probably than Gavin Griffin there, so it's another tap over here for Anthony Healy.
It has to be shoulder to shoulder, but it looked like it was. Definitely, it looked like a shoulder to shoulder charge, but the referee was only about 5 or 7 metres away, so you have to trust his judgment on it. But again, Longwood just creeping back into the match, which is great for the spectator. We've had around over 100 people watching us here on the Ideal Bathrooms Meath GAA TV.
So there's 30 minutes gone, and it's 9 points to Kildalkey, 5 points to Longwood.
And Longwood with Damien Healy tries to play a bit of ground hurling. Come in danger here with Paddy Keneally, has a chance to flick the ball. Keneally is just thrown up. And will it carry over the bar? Conor Fitzgerald, and it's wide. Well, Patrick Barden, but it's still wide.
It looked as if Paddy Keneally, as he had slipped that time, looked to balance himself and put his hand down with the ball in his hand. It looked as if he touched the ball on the ground.
But if you bring it down, you can touch it on the ground once you've maintained possession. But it was still...
About your superior knowledge on that one, so okay.
Yeah, if the player has possession, he can bring the ball to the ground. But it looked like it actually left his hands altogether, though, so that's even more in doubt. But he took the bobble of the stick, but it's okay, and the game is playing on. Gary Kelly in his customary yellow helmet plays it across. Oh, danger here, as Anthony Healy has a chance to evade the tackle. Comes to Ryan Moore into the corner. It's a long ball, but it's to nobody as Carl Ennis just plays the ball into open space. There's nobody within 30 or 40 metres in a white Longwood jersey, which would be frustrating. But again, that's probably one of the big disadvantages of playing that extra defensive player. Oh, and it's danger here. It's Potterton. It's a chance with that electric speed. Has he got it? Great block by the number 7. Ross, was it Kerrigan? No. Damien Healy got the block in. It comes back out now. Aaron Ennis tries to play it to Anthony Healy. Anto Healy has the ball. He's trying to break the tackle. He has done it. It's played across to Carl Ennis. Comes across, I think that's Billy Hogan. Billy Hogan with the shot.
Over the bar.
And that has to be an extremely morale boosting point. Damien Healy with an excellent block in the defence, and it goes all the way up the other end after a few plays, and Billy Hogan scores. As Ryan Moore has a chance here. And the Just Longwood seem to have a bit about them, as Gus Martin, the Dundee official, signals line ball. As Harry Hogan just didn't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, really hugely influential block there by Damien Healy. It looked as if a betting man would have could have put his house on Nicky Potterton about to get through and score a goal there as he unleashed a shot in a brilliantly timed block. As we said, Damien Healy has dropped back into that sweeper position, and they're hoping to mop up any ball, but only maybe a ball or two might have dropped into his hands. But that time he sat back into the full back line, watched the run of Nicky Potterton, got close to him and timed his block absolutely brilliantly. And then to just back it up, then Longwood moved the ball swiftly down the field, got it out to Billy Hogan, and the ball had barely left the stick and Billy was turning to get back into position, knowing he had to put over the bar. A really huge score to boost their confidence. If they can go on and get the next score now after that, that'd be a massive thing. But half-time whistle there now, it's 9 points to Kildalkey and 6 to Longwood.
Yeah, so we'll be remaining on the stream during this half-time interval of 10 minutes or so. So don't exit the stream. Go get your cup on tea. But if you want to interact with the stream, you can, of course. There's a chat box there if you would like us to talk about anything in particular, or you have any observations yourself about the game, feel free to get involved and collaborate with us. We'll reply to it. But as we come to our break here, there's only 3 points in it, Fergal, which is possibly probably a below par score for Kildalkey with all the possession they had, especially early on. A lot of misses.
Yeah,
I'd say they're probably somewhat disappointed, even though they've dominated the half.
Yeah, they have looked the better team. I won't say they've played the better hurling. At times they've looked the better team. Both sides have genuinely tried to play decent hurling. They've both tried to move the ball. They've both tried to find men. A couple of times, Longwood more so than Kildalkey have tried to pump in the long ball into the full forward line. And I'd say every time they've tried to do that, they've got no luck out of it. But you know, apart from that spell, maybe 5 or 6 minutes either side of that water break where and the red cards, apart from that spell where it got a bit sloppy, it's been entertaining enough, even though there hasn't been a huge amount of scores. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of Kildalkey's 9 points have come from frees. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 of Longwood. So, you know, in terms of scores from open play, it's 3 points to 2. So creating opportunities from that point of view, it's been a fairly level game. Kildalkey will probably reflect on the fact that they have 6 wides in that half as well, which hasn't 7 wides in that half. I think Longwood have only one maybe from an Anthony Healy free, the only wide they had. So it's definitely Kildalkey creating the majority of the chances, created 16 chances, taken 9 of them. Longwood have taken 7 shots at goal and conceded or scored 6 of them. I won't say that they've only created 7 chances. They have had other opportunities where they got the ball into decent positions, but I'd still be fairly confident in that it will be a Kildalkey victory, but they're making hard work of it. Carl Egan just coming back there, he's enjoying the sun somewhere. The commentary does leave a lot to be desired, Carl.
Oh, that's it, but Carl is on holidays. He's an avid supporter of both Dunsany, and as I said, Kildalkey here tonight. He's on holidays. Red cards, the first one we definitely missed it because it was in the play.
Yeah,
it was just left the play, so it was hard to tell. The second one, it looked like fairly harsh in the fact it was a shoulder probably to neck or head, but it didn't. It's hard to know, was a dangerous play or inflicted injury recklessly. It is difficult to tell now.
I think the first one, because it was right under the nose of the linesman, the play had moved on. There was definitely a swinging back motion. Yeah. How much there was connection, impossible to tell from here. In fairness to Mark Riley, he was no more than 5 or 6 yards away from it. Called the referee in straight away. I don't think there can be any complaint from Sean Colo about that. Conor Carney's, you don't like to slander anybody or say that, and so you don't know what happened there, but it was definitely stupid tackle. I don't know how reckless it was. I didn't see a belt coming down on the head, but the referee obviously saw enough to warrant it as a strike, I think, down on the head. And no other option in the referee's mind. He didn't seem to hesitate. Red card straight away. It did disrupt the game, but there's plenty of space out there, and the lads are pinging the ball around now, and there's passes been played to hand rather than big long balls, as we said. Used to be a feature of these type of games, but hopefully it'll lead to an entertaining second half with more room and more space on the field. But to me, Kildalkey just look that better side at the minute.
Because that was one of the discussions actually when they were reviewing playing rules in both hurling and football. There was a discussion about playing the game at 13 aside, because it would mean it would be harder to have a blanket defence because you'd have to cover more ground. But it was kind of discussed maybe that
two more lads sitting on the sideline.
I think that was ultimately probably one of the reasons it was kiboshed. But at the moment, as just Luke O'Connor commented in saying that Harry and Billy Hogan are causing havoc. Harry probably hasn't gotten as much ball, but Billy's doing well around the middle of the field, and it just shows you that when the lads are moving the ball quickly, they're able to get involved. And your usual culprits, the likes of Mickey Burke, Damo Healy, Anthony Healy, Aaron Ennis, the kind of the old timers of Longwood hurling, they're there. But the same can be said for Kildalkey. Gary Kelly's been on an awful lot of ball, playing it into Paddy Potterton in the middle of the field. Martin and Mark Healy, the two Healys, have been playing well. Nicky Potterton, ever dangerous. Possibly that's probably the moment of the match so far when Damien Healy was able to obstruct him and block him and stop him from probably putting this game to bed with a great goal opportunity. But if Potterton gets another chance, I don't think he'll be stopped a second time.
Well, you know, Damien Healy is a quality defender and obviously one of the best in the county. Vastly experienced and used every minute of that experience that he's gained over the years just to perfectly time that block on Nicky Potterton. It's worth to go back over and have a look at that again. Pity we haven't got instant replay here. I'd like to see it again and in slow motion because it was excellently executed. And you thought it could have been Ross Kerrigan, so maybe we're doing Ross Kerrigan the service.
Well, Ross got the ball anyway afterwards, for sure. He might have been the one that got the block.
I thought it was Damo that got the block, and then just to underline that brilliant bit of play, Longwood go down and get a score with Billy Hogan. I know what you're saying about Harry Hogan maybe hasn't been on as much ball as Billy or some of the other forwards, but what he's doing is he's occupying the Kildalkey defenders and they can't take their eye off him for a minute, and he's pulling and dragging them all over the field and trying to create that space in the full back line to give the forwards that are in there, not that they're playing too many men up in their forward division, but the runs of Billy and Harry Hogan are making, the runs that they're making is trying to create the space. It's just trying to exploit it without the lack of numbers up there by the fact that Damien Healy has to play so deep. Now with Sean Colo gone off, you're going to have to look to Mickey Burke and Ryan Moore to step it up another bit. We haven't seen enough of those two lads from a Longwood perspective. Digging in, doing all the hard work, absolutely no doubt about that. But they're flair players. Ryan Moore is a flair player. He's an unbelievable hurler and a footballer as well. Capable of doing anything. And you need to see a little bit more of him in the game. You need to see a little bit more from Anthony Healy in open play as well. Deadly from frees as you'd expect. Get that. I would be looking to move him in maybe closer to the goals, use his strength, get that ball in. And instead of having him chasing round instead of chasing round into the space being created by the Hogan brothers. But Longwood have a chance here. They're only 3 points down. I'd say that was a fair rollicking that Kildalkey would have got from Darrell Hart and Pat O'Halloran. But they need to up their performance. They've bigger games and tougher tests ahead in this Senior Hurling Championship. And if they don't book up their act and get it together, they could be under pressure here.
Absolutely, and I think what you're hinting at is that it probably will be something sublime or outrageous that wins it. It's not going to be, from a Longwood point of view, I don't think the tipping away is going to do it for them. They need to do something beyond the Call of Duty.
Yeah, I
think Kildalkey have the advantage of tipping away. I think that's
something sublime or outrageous from Longwood, all right. I think Kildalkey just tipping away will be good enough for them to win it. You know, they've 9 points now. They quite comfortably could double that. And possibly get into the 20s, and if they score 20 points, there's no way Longwood are going to score 14 points in this half unless there's several goals. But just scanning around to see if there's any substitutions. I see one guy running over towards the ref here for Longwood. No, I think it's just getting back into position. I don't think there's any substitutions anyway.
Oh, we'll try and keep the only two, as I said, Gavin Griffin and Harry Hogan were the only two players that won't have a starting number on their back. As Derek Ryan just gets ready to start the second half here in Park Nave Lomond.
You look at the quality on the bench for Kildalkey as well. Podger Gagan, Sean Healy, Matt Rickard. Plenty of players there. Well,
Mickey Burke has potential to give the first blow of the half. So he plays it to Aaron Ennis. Aaron Ennis has the chance to shoot from distance. Will it go over the bar? Oh, disappointing by Aaron Ennis. Had the opportunity to break through the tackle, but he did to no avail, and the score goes a missing for the Longwood team. Potterton plays across. Kevin McKeown, possession of the sliotar, plays it across, going towards Paddy Keneally, but Mulvey, the full back, is going to have a chance to flick the ball up. He doesn't use his goalkeeper Kennedy. He might use it the second time. He dispossessed twice, and Keneally just ferocious in the tackle, and really as you know, in hurling, the line ball can be hard to clear out. It's not like in Gaelic football where you might be able to kick it long. The sideline puck actually puts you in a bit of a corner here, and Kildalkey have pushed up their men, so that's some great defending by Paddy Keneally.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, is to say your first line of defence starts in your full forward line, and Paddy Keneally exemplified that there.
But that was an excellent clearance. Comes across, Harry Hogan has a chance to, little bit of a push in the back, but he bounces off the tackle as Patrick Potterton hits it in, just overshoots the runway slightly. No, he doesn't. It's a chance for Healy to pick it up. He's fighting with Mulvey for the ball. Martin Healy's a chance. He's going to play it out. He's going to try and recycle it. It comes to Keneally. Keneally to Mark Healy, who just dispossessed Damien Healy. He flicks the ball away. They need to get it away. Aaron Ennis to Mickey Burke. Burke has space to the side. Chance for Kerrigan, the number 7. Plays it across. Gavin Griffin in a bit of a foot race. Oh, this is a chance. Here's the chance for the goal. Griffin bounces off the tackle, goes to Ryan Moore. He was mentioned as a flair player. He's just been hooked though. A great bit of defending by Kildalkey. And a free out. And was it David Harmon got the flick?
It was a brilliant flick on, well played by Gavin Griffin, flicked it into Ryan Moore, and it looked as though, I know we had said it just before play resumed, that Ryan Moore is one of those players that could do anything, but unbelievable defending by either Brendan McKeown or David Keneally. One or other of them got a brilliant touch there to prevent a certain goal, I'd say.
So it's been one each on that side as the ball, Mark Riley just indicates that it's a sideline puck for Kildalkey on the far side of the field here. But it's been exciting so far, Virgil, for the neutrals watching at home. This is exactly what you want. And even if you're a Kildalkey or Longwood person watching from afar. We're in a full house here in Trim. Keneally, he chooses the point and he gets it. A goal chance possibly on, but probably the wise decision to take the score.
Yeah, probably the third time today that a player has found himself in 5 or 6 yards of space for Kildalkey. Could have stepped up into that space and looked for a goal chance, but opting to take that point. Good score.
Straight through to the centre half back, David Harmon. Harmon plays it across. Evan Fitzgerald has a chance to play it with that traditional left side that we're so used to seeing him long distance on the strike. Wide ball, 2 umpire signet just in case anyone was in doubt.
So it's a kind of a counter to Longwood score that they got in the first half, where Damien Healy had made a brilliant block and Longwood went down and got a great score. Brilliant defending there at that time by
it's mishit by Kennedy.
Yeah, brilliant defending, as we said, by Brendan McKeown, David Keneally, and then Paddy Keneally goes down and gets the score. So both teams benefiting from on the counter-attack from brilliant defending and to get scores. Still only 4 points in this, and we're 3.5 minutes into the second half.
Definitely Anthony Healy, if he's coming out this far, it usually means he's attempting for goal.
100 yards, 100 metres, is it?
Absolutely, it's a fair length of the field here in Trim. But is it just gonna drop in the mixer? Square ball. It was probably ever so slightly ambitious to go from such a distance out. As Healy has a chance to catch on the puck out. Mickey Burke drops it down. Kevin McKeown, if he can get it across here, there's danger. Oh, it just misses the Kildalkey players. But Nicky Potterton has a chance.
Wide.
Just gone out and wide. Uncharacteristic of Nicky Potterton.
Yeah, kind of snatched at it. Had a little bit more time than he thought he had, but kind of just snatched at it there, all right.
It's a long one out by Kennedy.
Oh, brilliant take.
Harry Hogan can't get above him.
Brilliant defending again by Brendan McKeown. Brilliant catch. Read it well, got underneath it, claimed possession, wins his free. Do that all day long.
And the centre half back, David Harmon, is coming over to take this free. He'll be passing this, I think. He's seen the range Anthony Healy had and probably will think that a diagonal pass maybe into a corner forward might be the best opportunity for Kildalkey to score here.
He's probably 5 or 6 metres closer than Anthony Healy was, and a little bit of wind maybe behind his back, but blowing into the corner, tiny little bit, not much.
Well, that's a shot.
I don't think it's going to drop short, I think. Square ball again. I think he's completely wrong in that call, the referee. The player ran from the end line across. I don't think he was even in the square when he got a touch onto it.
Yeah,
I
possibly,
think he was
yeah,
just
'cause
happy enough to give the simple free out.
When he'd given it to the other end, it was a simple decision to make.
Yeah.
Damien's going to take this probably with the fact that the keeper, Mark Kennedy, just had 2 bad puckouts maybe in a row. That Damien's going to go short here.
Oh no.
Didn't travel 20 metres, but we won't get too
Ah,
technical and
that's
we'll allow it. Play on.
Didn't travel outside the 20.
No. Great play. Harmon, the centre half back. He's going to shoot. No, he's not. He's going to pass it across. And look, Martin Healy's a chance. Misses Kevin McKeown. Damien Healy and McKeown. 2 big men are going to collide. And it's been waved wide.
Referee has overruled it. He's given a 65.
The hand is up. Correct, Fergal? He's overruled it.
Yeah, either that or it's Alan Shearer and he scored a goal the way he's moving around there, but it looks as if he's
No, Red Riley's taken off like a bullet, so it's definitely a 65.
So Mark Riley has a big game tomorrow, and I presume it's been live on Meath GAA TV as well. Massive game tomorrow, a repeat of the county final from a couple of weeks ago. If we get a game between Trim and Ratoath and Partolchin tomorrow from 4:45, half as good as the senior final, people will not want to miss that one.
No, get your tickets. And if you can't get there, watch it. That's the simple message.
65 from Paddy Keneally.
Conor Carney hasn't been missed thus far, which just shows the strength and depth of the Kildalkey team, that your premier free taker goes off. And then Paddy Keneally, one of the best free takers, possibly the reason he's not taking the frees is because he's missed some of the Brendan Davis with the county and the probably continuity factor, but not a bad lad to bring in.
No, and they probably have another 3 or 4 free takers capable as well. They go on the attack again. It's all Kildalkey now.
Potterton.
That one's wide.
Just probably the shooting hasn't really been good enough by Kildalkey. That's probably the reason we have a game here. They should be further ahead.
Yeah, well, they're up on 10 wides now to Longwood's 2. 10 wides, 11 scores. 21 opportunities to Longwood's 8. It really is turning into a one-way procession at this stage.
The 2 Hogans tried to dispossess Gary Kelly, but they haven't been able to do it. As Healy in the middle of the field plays it across. Potterton will rise. And
brilliant.
what a catch by Nicholas Potterton. Will he need the advantage or will he score himself?
I think it's gone wide, but he's a free in. Yeah, he was a superb catch at Ross Kerrigan hanging out of him. He managed to gather it in brilliantly and somehow still managed to get a shot away. Unfortunately, it was wide.
Well refereed to allow the advantage to see could he get the score in open play. He doesn't. So Keneally will quite happily get himself another point for the match report for the Meath Chronicle. Thought it was a big one to get your name in the Chronicle.
Yeah. Plenty in the Chronicle again this week, of course, celebrating the ladies' success as Paddy Keneally lifts and strikes it over. That makes it 12 points to 6. Double scores at the minute. As I said, plenty in the Meath Chronicle for people to enjoy their sport. Also plenty there. We've a big supplement celebrating 40 years of Slane concert for anybody who's interested as well. The limited availability. I'd be getting out there and picking them up. It's certainly a supplement not to be missed.
Shame I wasn't alive for the bloody Bruce Springsteen concert. I would love to have been there, but
well, Bruce is raging too. Who would like to have had you?
Absolutely, as Burke clears the ball out. He's usually tougher than the rest to get it out. It looks like Stenson, the number 4. Oh, just doesn't get above Harmon, who's been excellent at centre half back today. Playing Gary Kelly, the full back.
Look at the space Kildalkey are just creating now. It's Longwood. They have to push up. Paddy Keneally, all the time in the world, strikes it over the bar. 13 points to 6. 9.5 minutes gone in the second half. This is going to be uncomfortable viewing, I think.
And it just shows
a Longwood supporter.
The great play by Harmon to Kelly, but Kelly didn't overreact or do anything silly. He played it to his teammate Paddy Keneally, who's intercepted this puck out that was destined for Aaron Ennis, but it's not going to get there. Keneally's a chance of a goal.
Great.
Oh, it's a goal. I thought Kennedy had the touch, but an excellent finish by Paddy Keneally. A short puck out, gone bad. And Paddy Keneally, a danger man when he gets close to the goal.
Yeah, great finish. I was just taking my notes there, so I didn't see what happened from the
just a short puck out destined for Aaron Ennis, but Paddy Keneally just intercepted it beautifully.
Yeah, so that rollicking from Pat O'Halloran and Darrell Hart has obviously worked for Kildalkey. 3 points up at half time. Longwood haven't scored yet in the second half. Kildalkey have added 1-4. It's gone from a 3-point game to a 10-point game. And it's game over, basically.
I think it's all over. It might be, as Evan Fitzgerald is blocked down. Ross Kerrigan, slight push in the back. He just got his body in the correct posture. Damien Healy. Healy plays it to Mickey Burke. Michael Burke from Longwood is going to play it back to Healy. Might have had his hand pulled, but he's not been given the free. It's possibly wide ball.
Yeah, it's the link up of the old Warriors there. Mickey Burke, Damien Healy trying to get the shot off again. Again, it wasn't a clean strike. Just dropped to the right and wide. A bit of a tussle on the edge of the square. Anthony Healy shoving the Kildalkey defender out of his way, but he wasn't going to get near the ball.
And Keneally, he's been chased by Mulvey, the full back, but Keneally really is showing his senior inter-county credentials as he evades the tackle, but just pulls it to the left and wide. Uncharacteristic of him, but he really is starting to get in space, Fergal, and he's dominating that full forward line now.
Yeah, it's like he's nearly grown in confidence because he's been taking the frees and he's notched a few scores. He's got a few scores under his belt. He's grown in confidence since he took over the free taking duties from.
To nobody in particular. But Keneally he has been a confidence player. You see him and he gets so wound up in a positive fashion and he just really gets so intense.
Oh, and then again.
Oh, it's a chance for Healy.
Brilliant control by Mark Healy. But good defending, good rallying. That's called scrambled defence there by John Fury to get back, because it was great because it looked as if Mark Healy had taken down that ball brilliantly to create a goal chance, but super defending by Johnny Fury there.
Harry Hogan just showing a bit of pace here as he's tackled though by 3 Kildalkey players, and it's a poor pass. Damien Healy flicks it with the left hand up to himself. No. It's a big hit though by Kevin McKeown.
3 to Longwood.
Probably just the frontal charge is probably what the referee has deemed. A chance now for Anthony Healy from Longwood.
Opened their second half account 13 minutes into the second half. They really needed that. They had a goal chance in the first early stages of the second half. They needed a goal off that. They missed it, and that's unusual. Oh, it is. It's gone over the bar from
Just about. It was tight though. It was tight.
But Longwood really needed that point or that goal opportunity for Sean, or earlier on there from Ryan
Evan
Moore.
Fitz doesn't get it, but Billy Hogan has a chance. Flicks it up. Gavin Griffin. He's on for over carrying. Possibly just didn't get his head up. I think sometimes when you put your head below shoulder height like that, your head is down, it just makes you look guilty as it goes into the corner. It's well played though by the number 7. I think it's Ross Kerrigan again.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Ross Kerrigan, in fairness to him.
Nicky Potterton just evades the tackle with some quick feet. Doesn't evade the second one.
Gavin Griffin, a definite trip that time. And other Longwood boys complaining about the call, but it's a fairly clear decision there for the referee. Kildalkey start to play quickly again.
Nicky Potterton's a hard man to follow on the camera as Paddy Keneally.
There you go. Brilliant score from Paddy Keneally. He's on fire now, Paddy Keneally, and Kildalkey just need to get every ball into Paddy Keneally, and he's making hay now.
He's one of the best forwards in the county. As the ball comes across again, Damon Healy fighting for the ball. Conor Malloy says, come on the wood. They need all the help they can get, unfortunately, at this stage, as the ball is flicked up by the Longwood number 5, John Fury.
Yeah, so Paddy Keneally hadn't scored before the red cards, and he has won 6 since then. He's revelling in the space. He's grown in confidence with every ball he wins and every score he gets.
Oh, well played.
He could fill his boots here.
Potterton, danger by Potterton running like this.
Oh, it's a superb score.
Will it carry? Oh, yes.
Unbelievable point.
I was just thought as he was straying away from goal, I was thinking he's hardly going to shoot here. It's a low percentage shot. But when you're Nicky Potterton, a low percentage for Manny is not for him now. An excellent score. And Healy is pretty much the primary target for all the puckouts at the minute, but I think Kildalkey know that.
Gary Kelly has shifted onto Healy, onto Damien Healy from the Longwood puck out, so he's making sure that he's going to be underneath every puck out, every dropping ball to at least contest it. So Kildalkey vastly improved in this second half, where they were subpar in the opening half, which made it a kind of a game and made it a little bit interesting. But since the half time, it's 1-6 to a point to Kildalkey since half time. Longwood really suffering with the extra space that is out there. They can't fill those gaps, fill those spaces all over the field, and Kildalkey are making the most of it. It's another free opportunity here for Paddy Keneally again. Mark Healy making a run down this right hand side.
Save your energy, I think.
Save your energy, no need for it.
It's not a great one. Kennedy in the goal, just not probably delivering the ball. Healy has a chance.
Score from Mark Healy. Superb score from Mark Healy.
Unfortunately from Mark Kennedy, as the water break hits, the poor clearance straight down the middle, and it ends up with Mark Healy, the full forward, and it's an excellent score. And it's 116, I think, to 7 points. Is that right, Fergal?
116 to 7, yeah.
And I think it's just slowly but surely going to be Kildalkey's day here in St. Loman's Park in Trim.
Yeah, well, look at it. It's been clear, as we said, Longwood did well to be in touch at half time, 9 points to 6 down at the break. They had that opportunity of a goal from Ryan Moore 2 minutes into the second half. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. As we said, brilliant ending by Brendan McKeown and David Keneally, and Kildalkey countered on that one. Paddy Keneally getting a point from play, and he followed that with one from a 65, one from a free, another from a play, before that second one that he got from a play, intercepting the puck out, bearing down on goals and angling a superb low shot into the far bottom corner. That made it 113 to 6 points after 40 minutes. Longwood eventually opened their second half tally with a free from Anthony Healy 14 minutes into second half. But after that, in the last 2.5 minutes before the water break, Paddy Keneally, Nicky Potterton, and that super point there from Mark Healy has made it 116 to Kildalkey, 7 points to Longwood. Another 14 or 15 minutes of this. I said at half time if Kildalkey could get to 20 points, it was hard to see Longwood getting anywhere near that. I'd say 12 points might have done them. Longwood might. It's a damage limitation exercise at this stage. In fairness to them, they haven't given up, but just too much space out there. Kildalkey are completely exploiting it. Paddy Keneally is on fire. Mark Healy is doing really well now. Nicky Potterton's pace is burning them all over the field. They're trying to get the ball to Damien Healy, but Gary Kelly is doing a super job in tying him up, as is David Harmon. So it's as we predicted maybe at the start. It just took a little while longer to get there. It's one-way traffic now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kildalkey just stretching ahead, probably diminishing it somewhat as a contest. But there's a lot of good players on that Longwood team, and it's just probably the fact that Kildalkey have as many good, if not better, players, unfortunately. And what's happening for them is they're just utilising the superior player, like Paddy Keneally, Nicky Potterton, Gary Kelly. They're three names that are already stood out as playing well and above the Call of Duty. Number 27 is coming on, which is Josh O'Brien.
17 is already on there, so it's just trying to figure out who's gone off.
It's Harry Hogan, I think.
Harry Hogan who's gone off. But there is a number 17 is on here. Substitution for Longwood, number 27, Josh O'Brien, replaces number 28, Harry Hogan.
I didn't see who 17 come on for.
I'll try and figure that out. Caroline is gone.
Kev McKeown. The high stick just around the shoulders. That'll give Patrick Keneally a chance probably for another free. I'm surprised to see Paddy Keneally is jogging out, so you would have thought at this stage he might be walking to his frees.
Don't see number 10 there for Longwood.
Carl Ennis, I don't see Carl Ennis on the field at the minute. Could be the substitution that came off, and Thomas Clough, number 17, came on. Paddy Keneally Has a chance to lift it.
And it's a poorly struck one, actually.
I think as soon as Fergal Lynch started saying he was playing well, he's just gone terrible at them. I know I've had that effect on a lot of players in the last few weeks doing this. Just I think maybe sometimes when the intensity is kind of zapped out of the game, you don't. I think he came to life when they needed him. And now that it's kind of, the game has faded a bit.
Earlier substitution
for the Longwood, number 17, Thomas Polo, replaced number 10, Carl Ennis.
Oh, it's a poor one by Mickey Burke, I think it was. Evan Fitzgerald, or sorry, Gary Kelly. To Mart Healy has a chance of a shot on the left side. And it's a score. Playing all the hurling Kildalkey. But again, comes from the unforced error from Longwood. And they're being very much the architects of their own demise here. As Paddy Kennedy really shows his stickmanship. Mark Kennedy. He swings the ball out to the 15, Billy Hogan. Ross Carrigan, the number 7. Back to Billy Hogan with number 15 on his back. Short ball to Mickey Burke. Mickey Burke just been tightly marked nearly at all stages today as he breaks through 2 tackles. Probably wanted the advantage, but he probably was going to overcarry it if he didn't take the free. Fergal.
Yeah, he had offloaded possession, and it was only after he had offloaded possession that the referee had blown the free. So maybe Mickey had overcarried the ball. It didn't look like he had.
No, I didn't think he did. No.
I'm sure Longwood might have appreciated the play on there, but another opportunity here for Anthony Healy.
Anthony Healy, the free taker. That's gone over the bar, so I think sometimes in hurling maybe the advantage, it's supposed to be if it's a goal scoring opportunity. I suppose that's kind of a new reiteration of the rule this year. The ball comes out by Mark McCormick. A massive leap by Fitzgerald. There's a potential back injury here.
You have 18 men on the pitch here, and if you just look up to 18 men on the pitch, the 14 players and the four members of the management team are all on. And it always amuses me when you see a manager or a management team just 1 meter over the line. What's the difference between 1 meter over it and 1 meter?
I don't know. Well, Pat O'Halloran, Darrell Hart, Carl Levy and Martin Carr there.
Obviously it's 2 meters is the difference, but
maybe they're social distancing from the line, Fergal.
Maybe tight sideline here in trim, of course, with probably only 3 or 4 meters between the sideline and the fence. And I'm not sure if the full allocation of tickets were availed of for this game, but there's a couple of hundred here.
Well, 200 is the capacity, so...
Yeah, probably 100, 150 here, I'd say. Hasn't been an absolute spectacle. With some decent hurling that first half, but I suppose when you set high standards like we saw in the county final a couple of weeks ago, you'd like to see hurling like that all the time. But credit to Longwood, they did try to play decent hurling that first half, but they've just got swamped and overran in this second half. It's 117 to 8 points, and we have 10 minutes still to go.
And this will be, of course, a free resulting from a stoppage in play. Therefore, they cannot shoot. I think Aaron Ennis is going to be finished.
Well, they can shoot, but they just can't score.
Yeah, well, that'd be, I think, ludicrous if they did. But you're right, they can shoot. But you want to be some plonker. Now, I was asked that before. If it hits the post and goes over, does it count? No, you can't score. Just simple as that. Has to hit another player first or go outside the field of play.
13 gone off now, is it?
Aaron Ennis, yeah. And Keneally from distance. Why? I don't know why he didn't just take the free. He only gained 3 or 4 metres and had to take it on the run.
Well, as you said, he couldn't score.
Well, that's why, of course, yeah. But that makes perfect sense, Fergal, as you said. I answered my own question.
You did, yeah.
Just seeing me awake, Fergal. As Ross Carrigan just runs it out. Griffin was on. We're just trying to tell you who the sub is. Come on.
It's number 20, is it?
Yeah, you see him here with the longer hair. As Kevin McKeown has a chance to flick it. He doesn't. He's been marked by his number 6, Anthony Healy, wearing 12. A bit of ground hurling there by Mark. Was it Patrick Potterton, 8? Patrick Potterton, number 8, got it with a bit of old school ground.
Substitution for Longwood, number 20, Paul Maguire, replaced number 13, Aaron Ennis.
Oh, a chance, another short puck out gone awry, and Keneally's a chance to net it. Oh, it's wide.
Actually, a bad miss.
Yeah, from that close in, really, it should be game over for a goalkeeper. Even though I don't think Kennedy could have done much to save it. As Mickey Burke contests with Gary Kelly. Evan Fitz has a chance to break the tackle. Paddy Keneally.
Yeah, well, you have to admire Longwood and the way they've tried to pick out their men in long hurling and trying to avoid playing the long ball. There's been a couple of occasions their short puck-outs have gone astray and they've been intercepted and they've been punished every time. So an opportunity here for Brendan McKeown to get in on the act, but that one's gone right and wide as well.
Mark Kennedy, the goalkeeper, sees Billy Hogan in space. Damien Healy with a big swing of the stick. Did he make connection with the head?
And the ref doesn't think so.
It's a low ball in, a chance of a goal. Great block by, I think, Anthony Healy, was it? Or was it Maguire? No, it was the fullback, Mulvey.
Mulvey, yeah.
Billy Hogan's going to be intercepted by Potterton.
Brilliant by Paddy Potterton. Yeah, Kildalkey, as you said, they're 13 points clear and they're running away with it, but there's...
Oh, the short puck out is very, very, very hard to watch sometimes when you're worried.
16 wides won't be very pleasing for them, even though they have scored 118. It's something that they'll have to improve on, is the amount of wides they've racked up.
Definitely, as Potterton has a chance for a goal. Will he make up for earlier? What a goal! I think I said that at the halftime, said if he gets a second chance, he won't fail. And he absolutely buries the net out of it for Kildalkey.
Well, 5 minutes remaining, it's 2-18 to Kildalkey, 8 points to Longwood.
The lead is just being extended, with Kildalkey just starting to rack up scores from open play and from set play, and they're dominating most of the exchanges here.
Yeah, well, it's hard to believe there was only 3 points between the sides at half-time when you think there's 16 between them now. It's just been a totally dominating second-half performance. Mark McCormick is just down at the goals down the other end, a venue he's very familiar with, of course, having played for Trim. It was a Soba on the Trim team, the last Trim team that won a senior hurling championship before a couple of weeks ago. I might have mentioned that once or twice. Mark was a Soba in that team in 2001. When Trim had previously...
Oh, another interception is Evan Fitz.
Brilliant fetch. And a super score.
Connor Fitz gets it over. Connor Fitzgerald and Evan Fitzgerald joining up for another score. But again, the puck out has been a problem for Longwood. They tried to go short to avoid some of the big men on the Kildalkey team, but unfortunately, if you don't get the short puck out right, like here again, they've lost possession. Their own making, it can be very hard to get out of your own half. Bob Maguire tries to get it out, but it's Potterton, and Keneally's going to get a chance to flick it. Does it goes to Mark Healy, and Keneally will shoot.
Not happy with that. It's gone to the right.
Potterton dives.
And wide.
And the game is just kind of whimpering out, I think, now.
Yeah, it's petering out, and thankfully there wasn't too many injuries. I'm sure the referee won't be adding on too much, but there's still another 3.5 minutes left to play. But I know that sometimes you don't like marking efforts like that down as wides, but it was a ball that went wide of the target, so it goes down, and it just adds to the tally of wides that Kildalkey have racked up today. Nothing going right for Longwood now. The ball isn't sticking. Kildalkey just look hungrier. They're still up for this game. They're still trying to press, still trying to force the issue, and Longwood are struggling really to make...
Chance for Griffin here now, though. Can Griffin break the tackle? Gavin Griffin, and it's wide. He's got the free. Oh, he's right. So Fergal, nominees for the man of the match for the Ideal Bathrooms Meath GAA TV.
All right, it's a big prize for that.
Unless someone's watching wants to send an old gift card or something in.
Look at it.
Kudos, I think.
As you said, it was a decent enough first half performance from both sides. As Anthony Healy just puts another one over the bar, I'll just mark it down here. Decent enough first half from both sides. I think Ross Carrigan did decent for Longwood. Damo Healy was effective enough in that sweeper role, limiting Kildalkey, but when he had to come out of that position, Kildalkey just made hay. And Paddy Keneally was excellent, as was Nicky Potterton. So it'd be between the two of them, and I suppose Nicky Potterton's goal was an exceptional score, but Paddy Keneally has just really turned the game in Kildalkey's favour, picking up the free-taking mantle from Conor Carney, who was sent off pretty much unearned in that, took his goal superbly, has been a general excellent influence in the second half. So for me, Paddy Keneally is the man of the match.
Perfect. So Fergal, we're giving you the full control and not going to have any say in it at all. I'm just a mere cameraman here. You're the brains of the operation, so we'll give it to you straight away now. So if you have any issues with that, send a letter to the editor of the Meath Chronicle, Navan. And of course, pick up your Meath Chronicle when it comes out next week. Probably Tuesday night, probably the best, and Wednesday morning to get all the review and reaction of all the Senior Hurling Championship, and of course previews of the Football Championship next week. So
yeah, previews of the Football Championship, and
a bit of a pull by Ryan Moore.
Plenty to look forward to on the Meath front. We're also in Breffni Park at the weekend for the Meath Miners in the All-Ireland semi-final. We're also in Inniskeen, where the Meath Camogie team are taking on Derry in the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie quarter-final. As I said, we're across all these Senior Hurling Championship games. I think there's Féile competition on this weekend as well. We have a special supplement on that in next week's newspaper. So there's plenty of GAA action, plenty of sport, as always, in the Meath Chronicle. And just make that plea for everybody to buy your local papers, support your local GAA clubs and your local GAA association.
And of course, for the people that are watching, some of you may be international, of course, you can get the e-paper. I buy it myself, e-paper. I don't buy the old-fashioned paper, but I buy the e-paper every week. So make sure if you're one of the international viewers here today, you can get it on the meathchronicle.ie. So again, Meath GAA always look to get support local. As Ryan Moore, he's definitely going local with the stick work there.
Going local.
Local. It's going to be a long effort by Harmon.
And it's over the bar as well. So there's the 20 points on the board to add to their 2 goals. We're into 30 minutes, so I suppose we're just at the referee's discretion.
Just goes short, and that's a hospital pass.
2:20 to 9 points.
And the score probably is reflective of the actual general play, in the sense that it was a tight first half, but Kildalkey have absolutely blown them out of the water in the second half.
Yeah, it was a tight first half in that Kildalkey missed a lot of their chances, and they allowed... They allowed Longwood stay in the game by conceding frees, and it was a lot of frees in it, but in the game. So the referee he's still allowing play go on, and we're well over the 30 minutes here. It was an injury for 2 Longwood players, had to go off injured, all right, but I know scoring difference comes into a qualification process at the end of all this, but there's no need. I'd
say Kildalkey will be in that top 4, though.
Yeah.
I'd say the way they played tonight, even though they'll be disappointed with some of their shooting.
Yeah, and there goes the full-time whistle. So it's all over here in trim. It's Kildalkey 2:20, Longwood 9 points. Disappointing second half performance from Longwood, just to manage the 3 points. So when you look at the second half alone, you're looking at 2-11 to 3 points in the second half performance. That tells the full story. First half, as you'd expect in any championship hurling, was tight and tense, and both sides had their chances. But maybe that lack of hurling, as you said, they didn't play in the Brendan Davis Cup. Longwood didn't play in the Brendan Davis Cup. So in the second half, they ran out of steam. Their stick work wasn't there. The sharpness wasn't there. The extra pace on the pitch provided by the sendings off, the 2 sendings off for Sean Colo for Longwood and for
Conor Carney
for Kildalkey, freed up a lot of space on the field, and Kildalkey just made hay as the sun didn't shine here in Trim. But a perfect evening for hurling. No excuses for Longwood from that point of view. Kildalkey simply the better team.
Absolutely, and we'll have more action on the Ideal Bathrooms Meath GAA TV. We'll have at 4:45 tomorrow here on the YouTube channel. We will have Ratoath and Trim, a rematch of the 2020 final in the Ted Murtagh Senior Hurling Championship. It was only played a few weeks ago. It was a classic. We had over 1,000 people watching at one stage on the stream, and of course 500 people at the game. We've the same. There's 500 tickets available tomorrow, and we're hoping to have everyone back watching on the Bathrooms, Ideal Bathrooms, Meath GAA TV. And of course, and after that at 6:45, I'll be heading to Longwood, and we'll have Killeen and Clemesson in the senior as well. So we'll have 2 more senior hurling matches tomorrow. And of course, you can watch the Meath Minor footballers live on TG Cahir television as well. And we have a lot. So we're going to leave you here from the home of the 2020 Senior Hurling Champions, Park Nave Lomond, Molly Trim.